Rockwall. We're about to go live with a candidate forum. Hope you'll join in for about the next hour and a half to get to know these candidates.
Perfect. And this is live now from this point forward. Big crowd tonight. We'll see what these city council people have to say about their position and what they're running for and why they'd like your vote.
If you can all take your seats, we're going to get started. First of all, aren't we blessed to live in a fantastic community that has a great turnout to make really important decisions for their community. So thank you all for being here. Welcome. You know, I still believe there's a place in the world and in our government for God, and so we're going to start with a prayer. And I'd like to ask Councilwoman Jeffers to come up and lead us in that prayer.
If you'll bow your heads with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you with grateful hearts and willing hands in order to honor you. Thank you for the many blessings you have given us, our great nation, our wonderful state, and especially our wonderful Rockwall. Thank you for each of these citizens who have stepped up to serve our city and county with their time, their energy, and commitment. Please bless and protect our military and all of our first responders and their families. Our great nation is facing many challenges, and we ask for your blessing and your protection for our leaders. We're always with you. We thank you for our energy and our commitment to continue the fight for freedom and peace in this world. Please bless this time together this evening and give each of us the discernment we need to determine our choices. We ask these things in the precious name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Now, Councilmember Henson's going to come and lead us in our pledges.
To the American flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And to the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
God
Oh well, I couldn't make it in time, but God bless Texas.
Mr. Henson. It's so nice to stand on this stage tonight and not at the table. What a great change it is. And look, I'm just honored to be the mayor of the greatest city, the city of Rockwall. Thank you all for your support and for the way you support this city and this community. It's just an honor to serve all of you, and so thank you for the privilege. I do want to make a few announcements before we get started with our forum tonight. I want to tell you there's a lot of exciting things going on in Rockwall, so I want to make sure, and we are live streaming, so there are folks at home that will be watching as well. So we do have a shred day coming up. For those of you that have been hoarding paperwork for a long time, it's time to get rid of it. Out here in the parking lot on April 25th, there is a shred day sponsored by the city of Rockwall. It is free to residents to come, so please take advantage of that. Don't forget the elections, of course, on May the 2nd, and there's lots of voting material and early voting information. Founders Day is May 16th. We have a huge Founders Day this year. We have 3 bands, so we hope you'll come out and enjoy Founders Day. It starts at 8 a.m. with the farmers market, goes all day long, with the last act starting around 8:30, 8:45. So please come and enjoy Founders Day. It's such a great, this is our 172nd birthday for Rockwall. That's huge. And then right here in this room on May the 7th, we'll have the Rockwall County Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. It starts at 7:30. It's free to the public. We hope you'll come. It's the National Day of Prayer. It's a very important event for me, and I know those mayors who have served before me and who serve in our county. And so we hope you'll all come and take the time to pray with us. Pray for our nation, pray for our city. I do want to do a few introductions. First of all, I want to acknowledge our staff. If you're on the City of Rockwall staff, they put all this together. Would you please rise and let us just give you a quick round of applause. They do such a great job. Yeah, that includes you, Jody. Thank you guys so much. Our staff works so hard and to put on events like this, and it's so important. Next, I want to introduce, or I'd like to acknowledge our council members. So I know we have several of our council members. If you're a council member, Mr. Lewis is in the back. You wave at everybody. Of course, Mrs. Campbell will be on the stage tonight. You have Mrs. Councilwoman Jeffis, and you have Council Member Henson. And then, did I see anybody else? I didn't. And we have some previous council members and mayors in the room. Would you stand up? I know we have our former mayor, Jim Pruitt, somewhere here. I saw him. There he is. Thank you for your service to our community. There are other elected officials here today. It's really important that we acknowledge them. If you're an elected official, would you please stand up and let's give them a round of applause. They serve for all of us, so thank you for being here tonight. And then, of course, we have the candidates. We'll get to meet them later, but I'd like to take just a minute to have their families, their wives, their spouses and husbands stand up, because if you've done this job, it's hard work. And the people that sacrifice are those family members that are waiting at home. My wife had dinner with me one night this week. She's right here. So don't bother me on Wednesday. That's dinner night. But I'd like those husbands and wives to stand up and let us recognize you for your sacrifice to our community. Mrs. Henson, Mr. Justice. I know Gary's here somewhere. There he is. Thank you guys for what you do for our community. And I'd like the candidate spouses to stand up. And let's recognize that it's not easy to run for office, people. It's a lot of work. And it takes a strong family to help you and be behind you. So if you're a family member of these candidates, please stand up and let us give you a little round of applause. Thank you guys. And with that, I want to talk about the goals for tonight. When I was putting together this forum, it was really important to me that you truly get to know these candidates, and that we have a real dialogue and some discussion on issues that are facing Rockwall. So everybody that's running knew that there were 4 categories that the questions will come from tonight. The first area is to get to know the candidate. It's really important. And then, of course, we'll talk about policy and issue-oriented questions. And then we'll take some time to ask questions devoted to each campaign and each candidate themselves. And then, of course, one of the things we'll do tonight is have audience participation. We haven't done that before, so I want to explain how it's going to work. We have our Youth Advisory Council here with us, and give them a big round of applause. You guys are doing a good thing tonight. So during audience participation, we have these cards that have the City of Rockwall. They're going to begin handing them out here in just a few minutes. And on the back, there are all the candidates' names, and there are boxes that say both. So if you want to ask a question to an individual candidate, you check that box, you'll write this on there. You'll give it back to one of the Youth Advisory Council members, and during the forum, we will be taking questions from the audience via these cards. If you'd like the question to be asked to both candidates, you check the both candidates. If you think it's a question that we should ask for all candidates, just check both boxes. Okay, so pretty simple stuff. Write your question on here. Make sure it's legible so we can read it. And then the Youth Advisory Council will pick those up, and they'll be moderating these audience participation questions tonight, so you'll get to meet all of them throughout the forum this evening. So again, we'll ask the Youth Advisory Council to begin handing these out, and if you want one, just raise your hand. And by the way, you can ask them later as well. You can hold on to it at any point. You can let them know, and they will come by and give you a card. Before we get started on some of the stuff for the forum, I want to explain the rules for tonight's forum. All the candidates were given the rules. The opening statements will go in ballot order, and then they will alternate questions from there. To be fair, the closing statements will be done in reverse ballot order. Tonight, they'll be seated according to ballot order. So you all know how they were seated. Again, I told you the 4 categories all questions will come from. Each candidate will get a 3-minute opening and a 2-minute closing. Then each candidate will have about 90 seconds to answer each question. For the candidates, when you get to 30 seconds, the light will turn yellow. When the light turns red, we need you to stop talking. Good luck. We are offering, the candidates can each get a 30-second rebuttal. They can't do that during opening and closing statements, of course, but they will be allowed to request a rebuttal. It won't be guaranteed it. That'll be at the moderator's discretion, and they may have a rebuttal. There will only be a rebuttal, and then the original questioner can also have a rebuttal, and those will be 30 seconds long. The candidates, again, have been given this information well in advance. So that is, we will go, remember, in the city of Rockwall, all of our council positions are elected at large. So you get to vote for each of these candidates in each of these races. So for that reason, we'll separate them by place 4, and then we'll go to place 6. One other thing we have on our slate for this election in particular is a charter election. So we have 7 ballot propositions, and so I thought I would start out with a very quick overview of those 7 ballot propositions so you, the voters, know what's on the ballot. When you get to the ballot, it's pretty legal language. So we wanted to give you a quick overview. We've also created a voter guide. We have QR codes and flyers at the front table on your way out. You can grab one if you'd like to click on that and get a little bit better view of the charter voter guide. And that has frequently asked questions and other things in it. So with that, we'll get started. First thing, what is our charter? The charter is the document that really defines how the city is managed, right? It defines the roles of staff, elected officials, all of our boards, how the citizens interact with our city. It's a really important document. So again, we have 7 propositions, and you choose for or against on each of those. The first proposition is the elimination of some outdated language. Again, what you're seeing at the top is what's going to be on your ballot, but the explanation is that this amendment really just ensures the charter complies with state law, removes or updates any sort of wording and outdated language that no longer applies. That's proposition 1. Proposition 2 is a resign to run amendment. What that means is that the amendment requires city officials currently holding office to resign if they wish to run for a different office than they hold. This levels the playing field for all positions. So what does this mean? Really today, places 1, 3, and 5 already have this. Places 1, 3, and 5, just like myself and my opponent last year, we had to leave our position to run for the middle chair, so to speak. And if this proposition passes, then all positions within the city will have to do the same thing. They'll stay in their seat until the election's been canvassed. At that point, we'll have a new official for places 2, 4, or 6 if one of them decides to and runs for mayor. Proposition 3, another election proposition. Proposition 3 is a majority election requirement. Today in the city of Rockwall, we do not require a majority to take office, only a plural vote. That means the person with the most votes wins. This would really create a situation where you have to have 50% of the vote plus 1, or more than 50%, to take office. And of course, if you don't have 50%, you go to a runoff. Pretty much all of our county and state officials work under this system. It's just logical that a city of 54,000 people moves to a majority system. We've also had many, many years we didn't have elections. And so, obviously, there are some folks who have concerns about costs and other things of having runoffs and the timing, but it's worth getting it right, is my opinion. extended verification, signature verification. Today is 21 days for petitions to get validated by the city secretary. In a city of our size, that's just too fast. This extends that to 30 days, which is appropriate. In a city, again, our size, we did have some petitions that came that had to be validated. They were for liquor elections, actually. And this really allows us to make sure we get it right. Neither of those went anywhere, by the way, I just want to assure you. But still, the city secretary had to validate all of those signatures. Proposition 5 is competitive waste bidding. And some of you may be saying, well, don't we already have to go out for bid? Thank you. I appreciate that. One of the things that I told the citizens on the night that I was sworn in is that we would change the charter, that would bring an amendment to the city council to ensure that no solid waste contract ever that's not bid ever gets approved in the city of Rockwall again. Today, the state law allows for garbage contracts to not go out for competitive bid. But this particular contract was 7-year, over $50 million contract. I felt like it was important that it went out for bid. It did not. It's approved. It's what we're all on. We all have new blue cans. So congratulations. But if this charter amendment passes, it will require every city council in the future to go out for bid on solid waste, and that's the way it should be. Again, that's just my opinion. That's not the opinion of the city. Proposition 6 changes some technical corrections and allows the city council to change technical things like misspellings and typos and those things by ordinance in the future, so we don't have to have an election to change simple wording. Again, this specifically cannot change the meaning of the charter at all. And Proposition 7 just requires that we don't have a requirement to go out to a charter review every 7 years, every 10 years, but we have done it about every 10 years. So this memorializes it and ensures that every 10 years we'll sit a charter review commission, and that commission will recommend to the city council any changes that they think. And it's a 10-person commission that's in our charter. It has to be 10 people, and they're citizens. And so, yeah, that would be number 7. So that's it. This is a QR code that goes to that voter guide. If any of you want to scan that, we also have flyers up here. I'm going to turn this off in a minute because I don't want to distract you from the candidates. So let's move on to the candidates now. First, I want to talk about moderating. You know, as much as I would love to moderate this forum, I didn't feel like it was appropriate for me to do it. So I have selected a moderator to moderate tonight. And I haven't known this person very long. I met this person last year. He's a very conservative voice, and he's a professional, and he does this for a living. And I thought that would be a great person to have moderate for us. I think one of the other unique things about this person is that this person was an elected official. Our moderator this evening served on the city council and as the mayor for McClendon Chisholm. He does not have a stake in this game. He cannot vote for any of the candidates. He will not endorse any of the candidates. And so he makes a perfect person to come and moderate tonight. And so he's best known as the show of Rockwall's own conservative broadcast, The Bunker Bob Show. So please help me welcome Bunker Bob Steinhagen.
Well, good evening.
Let me just say real quick to the audience, nobody has seen the questions. I gave Bob full authority to come up and edit and do any questions that he saw fit based on those 4 criteria. Nobody has seen the questions, and nobody even knew he was a moderator until just now. Nobody. Except, I think I did tell Jennifer. I think you told your wife too. So, but other than that, Bob has come up with the questions that he is going to answer tonight, or ask tonight. So I just want everybody to be assured of that.
Well, good evening, and it is such an honor to be able to do this. You're not here to hear me, you're here to hear our candidates, and we're going to start with place 4, and that is going to be John Hageman and Catherine Castile. The 2 candidates, please come up to the stage. Well, so to begin, each candidate gets 3 minutes to introduce themselves, and first on the ballot is John Hagman. Mr. Hagman?
Oh, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Ready? Let's go. My name is John Hagerman. I'm a Rockwall resident of almost 40 years now. But instead of talking about myself and my history here, I'd like to talk to you about my history and experience with the city. So being here for as long as I have, I've served on numerous committees, numerous boards within the city. Most recently, I spent a year as the chairman on the Architectural Review Board. Currently, I'm serving 2 years as vice chairman of the Planning and Zoning Committee. So everything that comes up to City Council also runs through Architectural Review and through Planning and Zoning. So very honored to serve in those capacities. My platform is very widely known, I think, from the websites of ours. I am totally against multifamily. Anytime in Planning and Zoning and ARB, I've never supported and never voted for developments that include multifamily. You'll all remember the IKEA project with multifamily. I voted no for IKEA. I wanted the store, but I was a firm believer in that we could get the store without the multifamily component to it. Didn't win that one, but that's that. I also am a huge supporter of our police and fire departments. I have endorsements from both the Rockwall Professional Firefighters Association and the Rockwall Police Officers Association. So very honored that those guys have trusted me. I've spent the past 2 decades supporting those guys in businesses that I've owned. I manufactured and gave to the city of Rockwall a 15-foot by 25-foot thin blue line flag. It was the largest in the country at the time. When everybody was defunding the police, we were putting efforts towards them. So those guys, proud to have those endorsements from those guys. I want to bring some common sense back to local government. Everybody's like, what is that? Common sense. We don't have to make things as hard as we do. I'm not too old to remember a time that when you put your name on something, that meant something. And the handshake was the ultimate contract. Being in planning and zoning and being on boards, I've seen things where we take a lot of 4 right turns. We end up right back with the space that we had before. We don't have to do that. We don't make it hard to be hard for citizens. We don't have to make it hard for our residents to come in and our cities to get things accomplished. We can change those things. But sometimes it just takes someone on the outside coming in and looking for those things. All of those things combined with my experience and history are unmatched in this race. Nobody comes close to that. So I want to thank everybody for coming tonight, and I appreciate your vote.
Thank you, Mr. Hagman. Mrs. Castillo, the floor is yours.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. I am Catherine Castile. Some of you in the community might know me as Dr. Catherine Castile. I'm a podiatric surgeon and a small business owner, and I've been in practice since 2013. My family and I have probably called Rockwall home for 19 years now. I'm running for Rockwall City Council because I care deeply about this community's future. As a physician, as a wife, as a mother, as a community volunteer, and not a career politician, I have most of my life provided for the needs of others. In my profession, I deal with complex issues every day. I balance a budget, and I also make difficult financial decisions that affect people's lives. I believe in Rockwall. I believe Rockwall needs leaders who bring common sense thinking, fiscal responsibility, and strong principles that can guide our city for the future. My commitment is to serve families and businesses by improving efficiencies, protecting taxpayers, and preserving the quality of life. I am your write-in candidate for Rockwall City Council Place 4.
Well, thank you. I want to start very simply and ask each of you why you want to be on City Council and what makes you the best candidate for the job. Mrs. Castile, we'll start with you.
Thank you for the question. Just as I previously said, I am a physician, small business owner, and I've been a part of this community for 19 years now. This community has given me so much, and I build a business, I deal with complex issues every day, I balance budgets, I make difficult financial decisions, and I will bring that same approach to City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hackman.
Thank you. I bring the experience. I bring the history with this city to City Council. We have a lot of times in this world, and especially right now, where we need to go at 100 miles an hour on day one. I have that experience. I've done those things. I've sat on the boards. I've sat in the meetings. I've talked to our representatives. I've met with developers. I have the history to do that. I've been ecstatic for the way that the city council has changed in the past year, the direction that they're going. We've changed that on planning and zoning. We're changing that in the city. And I want to continue that pendulum swing in the right direction of where we need to be. You need someone who is strong in that. You need someone who has a voice for that. And you need to have someone that knows what they're doing in that. That's me.
Thank you very much. Well, the one you can block. Well, one thing that commercial and residential developers all seem to have in common is their advocacy for the right of property owners to do what they want on their own property, regardless of the impact it has on the community. So, as the council begins work to update the city's comprehensive plan, and we'll start with residential developments, and then I'll ask a question on commercial. But when it comes to residential developments, do you think that Rockwall should tighten up or ease restrictions on future developments? For instance, what lot size restrictions should be placed on housing developments, if any? And how should the city address future apartments, townhomes, and condominiums? Mr. Hagman.
Apartments, townhomes, and condominiums, 0. We're not going to have any more of those. The comprehensive plan is a very important document with our city. It is currently under review. I'm excited to be involved in that review process and helping spearhead that with planning and zoning and city council. That is a document that basically outlines the entire city and shows where areas we think should be commercial, where they should be residential, where they should be light industrial. We haven't evaluated that plan for Rockwall in upwards of 10 years, so it's currently under review, and that's going to change. Property rights in Texas are very important. I believe everybody that owns property here should be able to do what they want, sell it to whoever they want, and make those decisions that works best for their family. However, in a city environment like this, we have to have a plan of how we're outlining that, how we're setting restrictions and ideas of where items need to be. Residential development in Rockwall, we have exploded in that area in the past 40 years that I've been here. A lot of the developments that we've made residential have been great projects. A lot of those have a tremendous amount of room for improvement. And it takes a document like that to give some backbone and some assistance in planning the rest of our city.
Thank you, Mr. Hagman. And by the way, is the yellow light 30 seconds left? Okay, just for your sake. Okay, Mrs. Castillo.
Can you repeat the question?
Certainly. When it comes to residential developments, do you think Rockwall should tighten up or ease restrictions on future developments? For instance, what lot size restrictions should be in place on housing developments, if any, and how should the city address future apartments, townhomes, and condominiums?
Thank you for the question. We should not. No more townhomes, no more apartments, no more. We have this comprehensive plan. Our comprehensive plan is our roadmap to growth. It is currently under review now. It guides our development, it aligns our infrastructure, and it protects the neighborhood characters so we can protect our quality of life. We do not want any more apartments, again, no high density in Rockwall. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to follow up with a question for both of you real quick. Lot size restriction. Should there be a lot size restriction on these developments or not? And if so, what do you think that should be?
So should it be, currently right now, our comprehensive plan calls for 2.7 homes per gross acre. I think currently we were under review, and we're including changing it from gross to net. And those lot sizes, I would like to see about maybe 1.5.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Castillo. Mr. Hagman.
So right now, Rockwall has lot sizes that go all the way from 50 foot across to 100 foot across. So it's in 3/4 of an acre and an acre. Yes, the comprehensive plan outlines that, and right now it's 2 homes per gross acre in a development. So if you have 100 acres that you want to put a neighborhood on, you can typically put 200 houses there, right? With that map. What if 50 acres are in the floodplain? You can't build in those, right? I only have 50 that I can build on. You can still put those 200 houses in those 50 acres that are left. That's unacceptable. It needs to be based off developable acres.
Yes.
Right now it's gross acres. That's how developers make it beneficial to them. This is not for the developer. This is made for our citizens, us. And right now the math doesn't map that way.
Thank you, Mr. Hageman. Mrs. Castile, I'm going to start with you on this next one. When it comes to commercial development, what kinds of commercial development should come into the city? And do you support tax breaks on businesses to help attract those kinds of business developments?
Thank you for the question. We must grow our tax base. We must strengthen our commercial tax base. But we must attract the right kind of developments here. We need to also make sure that we have people shop local. Our taxes are decreasing and we need to have people come in and shop local to reduce the pressure on the property taxes. And I believe, no incentives. I believe we should be attracting the right development so we can get without having to get those incentives. So, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hageman?
I think that we've done just fine developing our town without giving tax incentives to major retailers. We gave $11 million to IKEA in a tax break. I think that that is the wrong decision that City Council made at the time with those guys. That is the first time that Rockwall's ever given tax breaks back to a developer to come in for something like that. That's unacceptable in that. I think that our Economic Development Corporation does an amazing job of bringing jobs in, bringing business in and industry in that helps supplement our tax base in that. We need to make sure that those guys are coming in to help balance all the tax money that comes into the city. Right now, we're behind on the sales tax dollars that we projected for this year. We need to make sure that we're looking at that right and make sure we're making plans to correct that. Rockwall has been very beneficial and very gifted in the past that we've had the retailers of Costco, Lowe's and Home Depot, H-E-B, all those guys that come from the cities around us to shop, leave their money here, and then go home. Well, now Forney has a Costco. Well, now Royce City has a Lowe's. Royce City's getting an H-E-B. Everybody's spreading out. Those dollars that used to come here are now going back to closer places to those people's home. So we have to make sure we're looking at that, recognizing that, and finding ways to bring some dollars back.
Thank you, Mr. Hageman. Well, let's go to a question and start questions from the audience, and I understand we do have a good one. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Ellie McReynolds. I am currently a senior at Rockwall High School, and I've been on the Youth Advisory Council for 4 years, and I'll be asking some questions today from the audience. The first question is, with sales tax declining, what is your plan to protect property taxes from continuing to increase?
Now, is this for both candidates?
Yes, it's for both.
Okay. Did you both understand the question? Okay. So we'll start with Mr. Hageman. You were last, so you'll start this one.
So again, we have to find tax base to come in and the revenue to come back for those sales tax dollars. Yes, we need to eat local, we need to shop local, all those different things. But it becomes very, very hard for us to depend on just the Rockwall residents that are eating here and shopping here. We need regional development. We need regional draws that are bringing people here. I mentioned earlier that I wasn't a fan of the IKEA project, but I'm a fan of the IKEA store here. I just didn't want what came with it. IKEA spends millions of dollars in research and development to figure out where their stores need to be, and they've decided that Rockwall is the place for that. When Planning and Zoning met with them and they came and they told us their story and they gave us their demographics, they say that they can pull from Texarkana, from Shreveport, from East Texas. I would love for those people to come. I'm not interested in IKEA furniture today. You might not be either, but other people will be. Those are the guys that will come here, buy their furniture, eat in our restaurants, not tax our schools, not tax our first responders and our services, and they go back home. So we have to make sure that we're looking for things like that to bring people back in. The EDC also does a good job of that, of making sure that those dollars are coming here. Those personal property taxes that get paid every year from a business, those are dollars that stay right here.
Mr. Hageman, before you sit down, the yellow light is on, even though it's burned out. She's fixing it right now. But can you follow up with, you said you didn't like what it brought with it. What did you mean by that?
With IKEA, I didn't like the apartments. We're getting 500 apartments with IKEA. Now, what we were able to do with the IKEA project, what Planning and Zoning was able to set up for them is, we all noticed Rowlett across the lake. They were promised lagoons and beaches and all kinds of things over there. They got 500 apartments. we were able to tweak the IKEA project to where the apartments have to come last. This is not going to be a bait and switch on Rockwall. We watched across the lake and we learned. IKEA comes, all the other retail comes, and the apartments come last. So if this development is anything like Rowlett, maybe it changes before we get to the apartments.
Thank you, Mr. Hagman. Mrs. Castillo, same question. Go ahead and rebrief it.
With sales tax declining, what is your plan to protect property taxes from continuing to increase?
Thank you for the question. We must grow our sales tax through commercial tax base. Again, I don't agree with the IKEA as well, because it came with 500 apartments. But we needed the IKEA to come in and bring for our sales taxes. We also need to continue to attract the right kind of developments here. A lot of our sales taxes are going out, as my point said before, they're going out to other cities, and we need to keep that local. We need to have people still shopping local as well, keep our downtown up and our harbor district up. And we also need to, that way we can keep the property taxes low for our citizens.
Very good. Now I'm going to ask questions of each one of you real quick. And Ms. Castillo, the first one will be for you since you're already up. You're doing something unique in this election, which is to run as a write-in candidate. So why did you not file to run so that your name would be listed on the ballot?
Thank you for the question. I was preparing to run for city council, and two things came up. But one of them was a family issue that needed my undivided attention. By the time that family issue was resolved, the deadline had passed. But still, an opportunity arose. I prayed about it, because I still felt a decent need to run. So I put my name in as a write-in on the ballot. Thank you.
Very good. And I do want to emphasize that if you are going to write in Ms. Castillo's name, it has to be spelled correctly according to state law. So just be aware, if you are going to be writing in her name, please write it in correctly. Mr. Hagman, here's your question. I'm going to go to your website. You say that government should operate with transparency and efficiency and not be difficult for citizens to understand. You say, I will work to reduce unnecessary red tape and make city processes more accessible. So please explain your plan to reduce unnecessary red tape and make city processes more accessible.
I think that Mayor McCollum has done the best example of that here tonight. He brought up charter amendments and showed you I need a second grade level sometimes, showed us in second grade level exactly what those mean and how those translate into the city. That's a city that's doing a good job. We all can read legal jargon. That doesn't mean we all understand it. So taking examples like that and explaining, involving citizens, involving all of us in those discussions. Rockwall does a pretty good job of creating boards and creating groups together to get feedback and get information. We need to make sure that that information is getting out. We need to make sure that everybody's aware of things they can go to, comments that they can make, situations that they can help with. We all have grown this city together, and it only works efficiently when we're all together doing that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hagman. I want to go back to the audience questions. Give us your name and the question.
I'm Eva King. I'm a junior at Rockwall High School, and I'm a member of the Youth Advisory Council, and I have a question for both of you. Many people care about Rockwall's small town feel, safe neighborhoods, and responsible growth. What specific about preserving or improving that vision for our families and future generations creates the strongest urge in you to serve on the council?
Okay, we're going to start with who spoke last, Mr. Hagman. You spoke last, so it's your question.
Rockwall's grown into a pretty big, amazing city. I think Mayor McCollum said 54,000 people here. When I moved here, it was 9. So we have grown into a very large city. However, we have done an amazing job of maintaining this small hometown, warm and fuzzy feel that I think we all enjoy for that. Part of that is because our police and fire departments. Our police are visible. They're involved in our schools. We have parades with them. They're at football games. That's the small town feel that everybody likes. There's a lot of cities in North Texas that don't have that. Being endorsed by the Rockwall Police Department Association, the Professional Firefighters Association, those guys have shown me what it is to lead and serve in this city. There's lots of cities in North Texas that they don't want endorsements from those people because that doesn't help them get elected. Those are the guys that are serving us, providing for us, being there for us. That's what's helped give our Warmtown feel. We have parades, we have footwear in Texas, we have high school footballs on Friday. Those are all things that Rockwall has done so good at maintaining, regardless of how big we've grown on the city limit side. We need to maintain that and cherish that.
Ms. Castillo.
Thank you for the question. My vision for Rockwall is simple: safe neighborhoods and a city prepared for growth. I envision consolidated police facility, fire station positioned for faster response times, and proper training for first responders. Public safety is our foundation to the quality of life, and I will evaluate decisions through a lens to make sure we're also protecting our quality of life. Thank you.
Very good. If you'd like to have a rebuttal, go ahead. 30 seconds.
Absolutely. So Heather mentioned our police department and combining those. Right now our police department is split. The police department that we have downtown here used to be a department store back in the 50s. It wasn't built for what it is, and it's literally falling apart as it is today. So our police department has split, and half the guys are over in the technology park. That's not warm and fuzzy. That's not easy accessible for citizens over in a technology park. This can be Mayberry in a sense. We're not going to the technology park to meet with our police department.
Mrs. Castillo, you have the right to follow up if you'd like. You're good? Very good. I want to go back to questions one more time from the audience. Mrs. Castillo would be next.
Hello, my name is Vincent Bento. I am a senior at Rockwall High School. I am the two-time chair for Rockwall Youth Advisory Council, and I've been on this committee for 3 years now. This question is for Mrs. Castile. If you are unsuccessful in getting elected, would you commit to working or volunteering for the city of Rockwall and its efforts or activities in another role?
Thank you for the question. Yes, I was recently appointed to the Board of Adjustments, and I look forward to serving on that role. I'm already active in the community, and I will stay active in the community. Thank you for the question.
And just to clarify, I know you're a surgeon, but you're not running for the money, right?
I am not. I have nothing up my sleeve.
Okay, very good.
I have my title. My business nothing even is unaffected by this. I am just running to serve.
Very good. Thank you very much. Do we have one for Mr. Hageman?
Hello, my name is Vincent Harris. I'm a sophomore at Rockwall High School, and I'm also a member of the Youth Advisory Council here. And this question is for Mr. Hageman. It states that Rockwall needs independent thinkers and not told how to vote. And can you be an independent member?
Absolutely. So the way that planning and zoning is set up now is very similar to city council. There's 7 people on the board for that. We all have to be independent thinkers in that. There are lots of things that we align on, but there are lots of things that we don't align on. I know we keep going back to the IKEA project, but we didn't align on that. And that's something that was my independent thoughts of that. I was a firm believer in pushing for what's best for the city and continuing to ask. And that's what a strong P&Z and a strong city council has to do. Developers are here to make $1. That's capitalism, that's America. That's what we're here for, and I'm all about that. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we're getting the best effort and the best deal at the end of the day. And we can't do that if we're not pushing some boundaries.
Thank you, Mr. Hageman. Thank you for the question. Now, so we've talked about the 7 charter amendments. We've heard the mayor explain them and describe them. On May 2nd is when we're voting for those, ranging from technical cleanups to major changes in contracting and elections. This is for both of you, what is your overall position on this package of amendments, and which one or two do you believe will have the greatest long-term impact on how Rockwall is governed? Mr. Hageman.
Number 1 is our trash contract. I run a commercial landscape company. I deal with bids every day, bidding projects all across North Texas. There is no reason that the trash contract shouldn't have gone out to bid in that. That's unacceptable to me. Whether it's a state law or not, it's still the right thing to do.
Yes.
Even if we ended up in the exact same spot that we are today of more money, less service, we would at least have the satisfaction of knowing that it went out to the market and that's what's best for Rockwall. Right now, we don't have that. The other thing is the 50% rule. We need to be voting with everyone together and getting a majority of that. Just because I got 11 votes and everybody else got 10 doesn't mean that means that I get the office for that. So it needs to be changed for 50. Changing those two things, that's what's going to give the best long-term effect and success for the city of Rockwall.
Thank you, Mr. Haglund. Dr. Castillo. I should be calling you Dr. Castillo. I just realized. I apologize for that.
I agree with my opponent about the bidding contract. I wouldn't have supported that. That should have went out. But I did do my due diligence. I went to the staff and a couple of previous counseling, wanted to find out why. But to my understanding, they did go out. They surveyed the other cities. They surveyed the other companies. They came back and they found out that no one was getting the same services as Rockwall. And they made the best possible efficient decision for the citizens of Rockwall. And then the second one, the 50. I also agree with the 50-50. It should be where if you get majority of the 50-50, then you should win the elections.
The 50% plus one election.
Plus one election. Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Mrs. Castillo. You like another rebuttal? Go ahead. Oh, one per question. Yeah.
Yes, our city did an amazing job of calling and making sure that we were in line with everybody else. But just because Rockwall was the only one that has 2 days doesn't mean that we have to drop down to one. It doesn't mean because we're calling everybody and asking how are you doing it, this is how we do it. It still needs to go to a competitive bid. There are multiple trash companies in North Texas. Those are the guys that need to be fighting for our business, not us telling them what we'll be acceptable with. This is what we want. This is how we're going to get it. That's how bids work.
Mrs. Castillo? Dr. Castillo? I'm sorry. Yeah, would you like to?
I don't need a rebuttal.
Okay.
We just need to be transparent and honest.
Very good. Thank you. Well, let's have another. Do we have another question from the audience? If we don't, all right, well, y'all get ready. Okay, so I'm going to go back to individual questions, and the last one was, the last person to speak was Ms. Castillo, is that correct? Okay, Ms. Castillo, your website says, by working with city planners and TxDOT, I will push for timely infrastructure upgrades while ensuring impact fees from development are used efficiently for road maintenance and expansion. Rockwall families deserve a smart, forward-thinking plan that eases congestion and improves daily commutes. Please explain your forward-thinking plan and where can voters find that plan?
Thank you for the question. Improving roads starts with fiscal discipline and maintaining the existing roads we already have. Growth must pay its fair share, and we need to be coordinating with our infrastructure road consortium with the county and TxDOT on some of these regional transportation projects so we can reduce this traffic congestion. My goal is to also go to Austin next year and speak with some of our legislators and see how we can also collaborate and reduce some of this traffic congestion here in Rockwall. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Castillo, or Dr. Castillo. Golly, I'm going to have to look up. All right, Mr. Hageman, your website says old Rockwall values, new Rockwall ideas. What exactly does that mean?
Old Rockwall values. I mentioned that earlier. When you put your name on something, that means something in this world. And when you shake someone's hand and make a deal with them, that's the contract that binds you with that. That's old Rockwall. There's lots of old Rockwall people in this room tonight. We are so thankful to learn from them. And we are also thankful to still live in a city that has grown into kind of a newer Rockwall. We still want the old Rockwall values, but we want some new Rockwall ideas. Ideas on that are changing roads and making sure that those are there, making sure development is based for our citizens and not for the developer. Those are new ideas that Rockwall needs, combined with old Rockwall. Founders Day celebrations, that's old Rockwall.
Thank you, Mr. Hageman. Now, this will be the last question, and I'm going going to give it to the audience. So what is an audience question? Do we have one for both candidates?
Yes, sir.
Great.
So this is for both candidates. How will you solve the thoroughfare issue?
Mr. Hagman?
This is my magic wand, and this is Rockwall's in a unique position. We have a tremendous amount of state roads that we don't control. TxDOT is the big mother on all of those, but here's what we have to look at. When TxDOT controls a road for you, a city has to do all the homework before that. They have to bring a road project what's known to shovel ready. That means that we've done the research, we've done the environmental studies, we've got utilities out of the way. Then TxDOT comes in and does that. If we don't have projects ready for them when they have the money, they skip over and they go to somebody else. So Rockwall has to do a good job of keying up these projects of roads that they control so that when they have the money, we're there to take it. We want to be the first in line for that. Our county commissioners and everybody at TxDOT has done a great job of helping Rockwall be at the front of that line, but we have to continue to do the work on our side to make sure that it's there. The Infrastructure Consortium does a great job of pulling together of roads that we can control. We have a tremendous amount of road bond that we raised several years ago that we haven't touched all of. We need to be making sure that we're spending that, we're allocating that, and we're tying that for the best effects of our dollar over here and TxDOT's dollar over here so that we overall win.
Thank you, Mr. Hagman. Can all of you old people hear that? Old Rockwall? Okay, this is Dr. Castile.
Thank you for the question. I feel like I just answered the question when I mentioned that, responsible planning starts with maintaining the existing roads we already have. We also need to make sure growth is paying its fair share. We need to make sure that infrastructure can support it. We need to coordinate with our infrastructure consortium with the county, and we need to also coordinate closely with TxDOT. When we do this helps on these regional transportation projects. We can pull them off the shelf when they're ready, with TxDOT ready, and then we can get some of this traffic congestion reduced. Thank
Very
you.
good. Dr. Castile, to stay standing, it is time for your closing remarks.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone who took the time to come out here tonight, and those who are watching from home. Your engagement in our community is what makes Rockwall so special. I decided to run for your write-in for Rockwall City Council Place 4 because I deeply care about this community's future. My family and I moved here in 2007, and over the years, I've seen our city grow and thrive. But with growth comes responsibility, and we must make thoughtful decisions that protect what makes Rockwall a great place to live. My vision is simple: safe neighborhoods and a city prepared for growth. I believe in strong public safety, responsible development, improving our traffic planning, and reliable city services. These are the fundamentals that protect our quality of life. As a physician, a podiatric surgeon, and a small business owner, I make difficult decisions every day. I manage budgets, solve complex problems, and I put people first. These experiences have prepared me to serve our community thoughtfully and responsibly. The journey has not been easy. Public service often comes with challenges and different opinions. But I believe leadership means staying focused, treating people with respect, and working together, even when we don't always agree. I am committed to listening, learning, and representing all of Rockwall. My goal is not division. My goal is unity, thoughtful leadership, and planning for the future. Thank you.
Mr. Hagman.
Absolutely, thank you. Dr. Castile mentioned earlier that she's not a career politician. I would label myself that as well. But I think what you have to look at when you look at people that are running for political offices is that we can all stand up here and say everything we think you want to hear. Never raising taxes, going to open up every road everywhere. But I think what you really have to look at is the experience and the history of that person and what backs that up. I have that history and experience. You can look at my voting record for the past 3 years of things that have come through the city. That's what shows you who I am, and that's what shows you what alliances I have to make sure that Rockwall is still number one. That is what gives you the look behind the curtain of someone and really understanding, what did they have a bad day? Is this what they did every time? That's where you really get to learn something about someone. That's the history that I have. Rockwall has been an amazing place for all of us. We all continue to be here. We all complain about roads every day, right? But none of us are packing our bags and moving across the lake. So we've got to find a way to work with that, with everyone together. We can't do that if we're not talking with one another. We can't do that if we're not listening to one another. And we can't do that unless we're making sure that Rockwall is still getting the best deal at the end of the day for that. We all want great places to live. We all want great places to shop. But it's the people that you select and put in charge of that that's their job to make sure they're doing that for you. We've had times in this city where we haven't had people that have done that for us. We've had times where people rubber stamp lots of development that comes through here. We all know one that we can point out in our minds. You have to pick someone who shows you that's not standing up here and talking about something. Look at the history, and that's when you'll find out who the person is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give both our candidates a big hand for being here tonight. Now we'll place 6 candidates. Please step up to the stage. David Shane and Councilmember Campbell. Okay, we're going to jump right into it and keep this moving if we can. So as we've talked about before, both candidates have 3 minutes to introduce themselves. And first on the ballot is David Shane. Mr. Shane.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is David Shane, and I'm running for Rockwall City Council, Place 6. I believe running for office starts with one thing: servant leadership. It means giving your talents, your time, your energy, all without expecting anything in return. It includes heart. Why? It's because of what doers do. They step up, they lean in, and they serve. Now, I'll be honest with you. Being a candidate isn't easy. It's hard, in fact. It takes time, selflessness, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So why do it? Because we should always strive to better ourselves and the community around us. Because if you care about where you live, you don't sit on the sidelines. You step forward. Service has been part of my being for as long as I can remember. I've helped my church when I was a kid, served in college, high school, and now I'm serving in my adult life. I've spent over a decade serving Rockwall already, and more than 30 years dedicated to it. Today, I serve an organization that meets people on their worst days. It's the Community Emergency Response Team. You may not always see us, but we're there, supporting firefighters, assisting during emergencies, serving families, and serving our community when it matters most. That kind of service can't be phoned in. It takes grit, it takes commitment, it takes heart. I also serve as a planning and zoning commissioner, where we work through the tough decisions that shape the future of the city before they ever reach city council. And in my spare time, if you call it that, I'm proud to serve as the president of the Fontana Ranch HOA, working directly with residents in my neighborhood to improve our quality of life. My vision's simple: keep Rockwall Rockwall. We can't lose our culture, we can't lose our character, and we can't lose the charm that makes this a special place to live. I bring both education and world experience to support that vision. I have a degree from Texas Tech University in mechanical engineering technology, and I have an MBA from Ashford University that's now called Arizona Global Campus. Professionally, I've built my career from the ground up, starting out in the field, building water treatment plants for a living, moving on to energy and engineering, and finally today, managing billions of dollars in design, construction, and infrastructure spend for JPMorgan Chase. In simple terms, I know how to plan, build, manage growth responsibly. I'm not asking for your vote lightly. I'm asking for the opportunity to earn it. Because the campaign isn't about me, it's about us here. It's about preserving what we love while doing it wisely for the future. So I ask you, let me know how I can serve you. Let me know how I can earn your trust. And together, let's keep Rockwall, Rockwall. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. James. Councilmember Campbell, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Many of you know me. I've been around for a very, very long time, 36 years in this community. I have served in this community for almost that long. I came in, raised my 2 children here, 26 years as an educator, 6 different certifications, and I've taught everything from elementary school all the way through high school. Currently working with our AP and our IB students, making sure that they get into college. I have been involved in the community, like I said earlier, for just about my entire time here. I've served on the PTA, I've been a member of the PTA for over 30 years. I've co-founded the Hispanic Republican Club so that we can share our goals and our ideas for our democracy with our Latino community. I've been a part of the Republican Women's Group for almost 2 decades. I've done a lot. I've done quite a bit. I can go down the list. I'm on Rotary. I'm a fellow member of the Rotarian Club. I'm on the board with Grace Clinic. I have done many, many things in this community. Currently, I am serving as city council. This is my 3rd term, and I had a weird way of coming in. I was asked to join the city council, and I was thankfully appointed. I was strong-armed because politics was not my thing. I did not want to come into politics for any other reason. I am a server from behind the scenes. That's how I've always been. And then I was appointed, thankfully, and it has been a blessing to be able to serve this community for all that time. I am now running for my last term, and I come with a lot of experience now. I do have a lot of things to offer the community, not only my servant leadership, like was mentioned earlier, but also my experience on council with all the different aspects that were mentioned in the previous with the previous candidates that came up here to speak. One thing that I didn't mention, and it is a little nerve-wracking being up here, and I keep looking at my friendly faces out there that are giving me some pause. Thank you for all of those that called, prayers, phone calls, text messages, and for coming out here to listen to all of us speak and express our thoughts and our willingness to want to continue to serve this community. I come from the Canal Zone. I have a fellow Zonian here in the house. And I come from another country where I was able to see how government can not only benefit, but it can also hurt our community. So that's my experience. I'm very proud to be here and look forward to continuing the conversation. Thank you.
Well, stay standing. Councilmember, why are you seeking a 3rd term, and why should voters put you back behind the desk?
Great question. Thank you. I am coming with experience. I've served my 6 years, and for most of those that serve on city council, that is it. We're term limited. Thank you for that. We do not want endless members serving on council forever, right? So we do have term limits. Again, I was appointed. I came in, and I was able to bring all my knowledge of the community, my experiences as an educator, as one working in the community, grassroots, working with community members, and bring them to council. I'm a listener by nature. I am a communicator. I love to sit and have coffee and listen to those that have concerns, and we can continue with that and continue with responsible growth. Number 1, responsible public safety. One of the things I didn't mention was that I am proudly endorsed by both the fire department and the Rockwall PD. Bring all the experience that I've gathered in the last 6 years and continue to serve for my last term on Rockwall City Council.
Thank you very much. Mr. Shane, aside the fact that you spell your name wrong, you decided to run against a 2-term incumbent, so can you tell us what prompted you to run and what makes you the best candidate for the job?
Thank you for the question. So I decided to run. It wasn't an easy or quick process at all. It started 10 years ago when I moved to Rockwall and immediately had to start fighting everything. from planning and zoning cases up to city council. And what finally has pushed me to actually consider the run and then get on planning and zoning and then run for city council is this. I was tired of coming up across the dais and not feeling like my voice was being heard. They would listen to you on the dais, and you'd go through during the election cycle, and they say what the elected officials would say, anything that would get your vote. And then when they got on the other side, it was, no, we can't really do that. I'm sorry, that's not really going to be, that's not going to work. And so, okay, so you'd still fight the zoning cases, you would still fight the planning cases, you'd fight everything. It's so funny now, I guess it's been a hot minute since I've been on planning and zoning. I know Bob's address by memory, 309 Featherstone. Sorry, Bob. So that's the reason why I'm running, because of the fact is that as a citizen, you should not have to fight absolutely everything. Your city council and your planning and zoning commissioners should work for you, and that's what I plan to do. Thank you.
By the way, that's not my address. Just so you know.
Okay, thank you. My reason for continuing to run, and
Well,
well,
if you want to have
the
a-
rebuttal. I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
So sorry. One of the things that was mentioned is the fact that his voice isn't being heard. There is so much complexity that goes into the decisions that are made at City Council. It is not that your voices aren't being heard. You may not necessarily get 100% of what you want, but there's always compromise. And we've done that over and over and over in just about every case that we've had, specifically on those with development. 100% of what is being asked of by the developers is not ever received. We come back and we fight that consistently.
Thank
So
you.
your voices are being heard.
Thank you, Mr. Shane.
Well, let's agree to disagree there, but that's okay. Really, the comp plan, even while it is complex and there is a lot of legalese in that, it's a roadmap. And when the roadmap is not right, then you got to fix the roadmap. And the roadmap currently sits to where you can have 2 homes per gross acre that's considered low density, and you have 2.5 homes per acre plus compensatory measures that make it also low density. We need to change the comprehensive plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shane. You can stay standing because it dovetails well into the next question, which is the City Council is considering the comprehensive plan right now, and you have both had some involvement in your current roles. Now, tell us your thoughts on how the density calculations should be adjusted, if at all, and what changes to the comp plan you think are vital to this community.
That's a fantastic question. So first and foremost, we got to fix the calculations. You cannot say, as it was said earlier this evening, you can't put 100 homes on 50 acres and make it work. Who wants to live where I can touch the houses in between both arms?
Nobody.
Not here, right? It may work in other cities, but not here. How we fix it is by codifying the comprehensive plan that fixes the calculations. It's, at the simplest terms, it's been a loophole with which the developers have been able to legally exploit. We want to close that loophole. We want to make it to where it's developable acres, as well as if they put in or give the city raw land, then they need to put in the appropriate infrastructure to make it an actual park. Don't give 50 acres and say, oh, it's a park, but then don't put in the plumbing, the electrical, the parking, or even a playground to even get it started. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shane. Councilmember Campbell.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, I agree. The comp plan is a great plan. It was revised, became better, and now it's being revised again. And we've had some the Comprehensive Plan Committee, the commission, to propose the new changes, and it will be even better. Okay, so there's a lot of great improvement. There are, most of our developments here recently have been less than 2 homes per acre. Right now we have one development that is at 1.6 homes per acre. So we do have, there have been some adjustments. We don't just, it's not carte blanche, whatever's there is being given to the developers. There's a lot, like I said earlier, there's a lot of negotiation that goes on back and forth. Sometimes these Cases can go for months. They go back and forth, they're kicked back to P&Z, they're brought back. The answers are not, they're not given exactly what they want. And that is a very rare thing that ever happens. Right now we have 3 tracts of land, that's all we have left in the county, in the city of Rockwall, for development that are ready and able to be developed. We have 1 tract of land down on 276 that is not developable. So those homes there will be acre to acre and a half tract homes because we don't have the sewer and the water established there. So there's a lot of things that we can do to help. We don't have much left, and with the new comp plan, the current and the new one with the new revisions, our developments are going to be very well monitored and very smartly developed. Thank you.
Councilmember, as a follow-up, do you have a density projection on what you would like to see it?
On
comp plan?
our homes, I'd love to see 1.5
Okay.
per acre, between 1.6, 1.5.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, we're going to try audience questions. Y'all ready? All right, come on up.
All right, this one's for Ms. Campbell. Defend your vote. How do you explain your vote to give IKEA development millions in tax breaks and allegedly ignored citizen questions?
Oh, thank you. Okay, first of all, I didn't vote for IKEA. Okay, and that was, however, that was a very tough one. We had cow pasture. We had a cow pasture out there. We had a big developer come in, and IKEA and the developer, Avalon, come in and want to put in retail, want to put in tax growth. Okay? We are in a community right now where our 18 to 36-year-olds are dropping in our percentages in our city. Most of us are, a lot of us, if I look around the room, are older. Some of us are baby boomers. We are retiring. Our tax base is going to be fixed. Okay, our young population that's going to be supporting us are dwindling. That little number's going down. We need to be able to have a place for them to be able to come in and bring their families and grow their businesses here in town. The IKEA development, even though it was not ideal, it was something that was that did bring some retail that we're going to be able to add to our tax base, and along with that, an apartment complex, which, by the way, initial presentation was 500 units. That's not what was approved. Okay, so we did not finally approve. Again, going back and forth, we were able to bring that down quite a bit.
And so, you said you did not vote for the IKEA, so the question was wrong, was incorrect, or what? The taxes. Yeah, the tax benefit. Go ahead. Can you speak to the tax benefit? Yes.
Sure.
I'll give you 30 seconds for that.
We have several communities. There was a statement mentioned earlier that IKEA was the first one to receive tax incentives. That is incorrect. It may be the first development, but there's been many companies in Rockwall that have received tax incentives to bring their business. Costco, the hospital, the hotel, the Hilton, Spring Hill Suite, oh my goodness, the name of the little building up here on the hill by the harbor. There's been many businesses that have been received tax incentives, along with most of the industry, most if not all of the EDC. So incentives have been something that have been given, and I'm not against it as long as it is smartly given.
Thank you, Councilmember Campbell. Mr. Shane, we have a question for Mr. Shane.
Mr. Shane, we are familiar with Councilwoman Campbell's many qualifications and history in city government, but what is yours like, and what do you bring to the table in comparison?
Well, I kind of touched on it in my opening statement, but between my education and my professional career, through my professional career, it's given me the expertise to be able to be on city council. Along with, it just doesn't take that. It takes with getting involved, getting engaged, and then knowing your city and fighting planning and zoning cases that come up before it. So I can talk all day long about what I do for a living, but that just is the primer to get me started. And that, along with getting engaged, getting on planning and zoning, as well as fighting the cases for a decade before that, makes me qualified.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shane. So Dr. Castile and Mr. Hagman talked about garbage, so let's get dirty and talk about Proposition 5, which would amend the charter to require that Rockwall's solid waste contract, which includes garbage, recycling, bulk, and brush services, be put out for competitive bid at least every 5 years and receive full City Council approval. In researching this, it's been over 20 years since a competitive bid has been considered on trash. So given the recent changes to the Republic Services contract, which including rate increases, polycarts, and once-a-week pickup, do you support this requirement? And how do you think competitive bidding could affect costs, service quality, and taxpayer value going forward, Mr. Shane?
Excellent question, thank you. To further refine my professional qualifications, I'm a category sourcing manager, and what does that mean is I buy things for a living. And procurement 101, I'm in procurement. I work, that's what I do every day. I buy $50 million contracts before lunch on most days, and it's in procurement 101. You don't take a $50 million contract and don't take it out to bid. It needs to go out to bid, because how do you know you got the best price? You don't know you got the best price. And when you survey other people, how do you know that they got the best price? You don't know. And in the sense of going out to market, even if we keep the same provider and we have to lose service and the price goes up, you know what? Then we know we've got the competitive bid. The last time it was bid was over 20 years ago. I don't think many of us around here running on a cell phone from 20 years ago. So we absolutely need to make sure that we are getting what is best for the city. And to do that, you have to go out to bid.
Councilmember Campbell.
Thank you. Going out to bid is not anything that is it's not a negative. There's nothing wrong with that. The system was set up. Currently, we did not have to do that. City Council did its due diligence. We sent out, or we did multiple conversations with multiple conversations with multiple cities to find out what their service rates were, what their contracts were with their cities. And so the decision was made to go ahead and move forward with that and not send it out for bid. We did not have to. Should we have to? Should this amendment to the charter pass? Is a great idea. There's nothing wrong with that. The negative on that would be trash. I was told just recently, don't mess with people's trash. Okay? I didn't vote, by the way, for the trash agreement, the trash contract. I did not vote for that. I agree that we should have probably done a little bit better. However, when it comes to competitive bids, should another company change? One of the negatives with competitive bid is the change in contract. And if that occurred, then we are going to have to deal with the adjustments that would come with a new supplier. That could be a positive, could also be a negative. So it comes with some negatives as well. Do I disagree with sending it out for bid? No, I do not.
Thank you, Councilmember Campbell. And I'm going to stay with you, and I'm going to look at your website. It says, my strategic plan focuses on long-term prosperity through infrastructure investment, support for small businesses, and maintaining a low tax rate. Can you describe your strategic plan, and where can voters find it?
Sure, my strategic plan is on my website. I do have a pamphlet, a palm card out there that has an access where you can go and look at it yourself. Having a smart development, talking to our developers, visiting with them as they propose their cases with us, making sure what they're bringing to our community is something that's going to meet the character of our community is one that is critical. Making sure that we have that communication. Safe and responsible growth is another one that we are really needing to make sure that we provide our community. One thing that is troubling here lately has been our sales tax revenues. We're hitting a little bit of a bump, and one of the concerns with that is that we're not able to have the sales tax growth that we were expecting. We were expecting at about 6%. We're much less than that right now, and that is hurting. And we do not want that to affect our property taxes and affect those that are our residents in our community. One way to do that is to promote growth within our community. making Rockwall something that is going to be desirable for businesses to come to. Right now, we've kind of hit a little bit of a bump. They're wanting to go elsewhere, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But the main thing that we want to do right now is focus on making sure that we're opening up our Rockwall. We're not an elitist community. We're a community for all, and we want to make sure that we offer that to those businesses that want to come in and bring in that tax base that we're desperately needing.
Thank you very much. Mr. Shane, on your website, under the heading that reads Strength for Rockwall, focused on the issues, there are 5 bullet points, one which reads infrastructure development and updates in Rockwall. Can you share some specifics on what infrastructure and updates you are proposing and where the money will come from to pay for it?
Excellent question. So, the infrastructure updates, we need to make the projects that are road projects, we need to make them shovel ready. We need to do the due diligence, we need to get to the engineering done, and we need to make them ready so because let's be honest here, most of the roads in this town are TxDOT roads. Well, the only way you're going to get a TxDOT to move is you've got to show them that you are ready for them to start moving shovels. To do that, it's going to take funds. It was mentioned earlier this evening about the road bonds. We have that money sitting there. Let's use it, 1. And then 2, let's prioritize, because obviously we can't fund everything all at once. We have to prioritize the projects by the most need. And quite honestly, you need to get the voter input for that too. And is that sessions? Is that video outreach? It could mean anything, but you have to make the infrastructure projects ready by getting the engineering ready, getting the environmental studies ready, and make it shovel ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shane. Would you like a rebuttal? Go ahead, sure.
Great point on making them shovel ready. One of the things that we have been able to do, we spoke about incentives earlier, one of the things that we can do is by making these opportunities for businesses to come in, making them shovel ready, then that is a way to be able to bring in some businesses, okay? And we talked about initially incentives not being something that is desirable. The way it's done, if it's done smartly, and if it's done with IKEA, for example, even though I didn't vote for it, those incentives are not going to be, we're not going to be paying them back right away. Some of these are going to be extended for quite a bit, and they have to meet their income.
Thank you, Councilman Campbell. Mr. Shane, would you like to rebuttal?
Yes, I would like a rebuttal. The way that we're going to get infrastructure on the fast track here is leaning into our Economic Development Corporation. You know what? You bring more businesses here, you bring light industrial here, you bring in the diverse slate of a tax base, so you're not relying on your residents to actually fund everything. And then you do that be local, so now I'm looking at you. That being said, the only way you're going to spur growth is you got to bring the businesses there, you got to fill the coffers so that you can then do the infrastructure projects.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shane. Okay, audience question. Are we ready? And this would be for Mr. Shane or both.
Hello, I'm David Chai. I'm a sophomore at Rockwall High School. The question is, what is your favorite thing about Rockwall?
Mr. Shane, what is your favorite thing about Rockwall?
Let's go outside and play. The favorite thing about Rockwall is the parks. We have some fantastic parks. We have a city staff, Travis, that is excellent at our parks. We have the harbor. You'll see me at concerts by the lake. We have many, many things. We have lots of beautiful parks, splash parks and neighborhoods. We can always, that's my most favorite thing, is go outside and play.
Yeah, there's nothing more touching than watching a young person outside on their iPhone. Right?
just take me to a splash park, right?
Councilmember Castile.
Campbell.
Did I say Castile? I have Dr. Castile on the mind, sorry. Councilmember Campbell.
But our favorite things about Rockwall, the people. We live in a phenomenal community. Like I said earlier, we're not an elitist community. We're a community that is loving and friendly, and we like to be around each other. We like to be outside. I agree with my opponent on that one. We enjoy being out in our parks. We enjoy shopping in our downtown area. We are blessed recently that we have been able to acquire 2 parks. We were able to. There was monies allocated to be able to have a park on the south side. Due to one of our developers, we were able to get 50 acres. Yes, we were able to get 50-acre park on the south side of Rockwall. We also have another 50 acres coming up the old Williams Park up on the north side. Some of our other developments were able to offer acreage. We have another development that was able to give us about 10 acres, 33 acres total. So most of the times that we bring in our development, we bring in those outside parks and recreational areas that we can all enjoy. Our people are probably our number one, and offering them the safety, the security, a beautiful place to live is probably my favorite thing about Rockwall.
Wonderful.
We were able to do that.
Stay standing for me. These are specific questions, so we're gonna keep moving if that's okay. Councilmember Campbell, looking ahead to the next 2 years on council, what is one bold but realistic initiative you would champion to make Rockwall an even better place to live, work, and raise a family, and how does it tie into the city's long-term comprehensive plan?
That's pretty
Next 2 years, again, we are challenged with our tax growth, and one of the things that I would like to see happen in Rockwall is to bring in good quality businesses into Rockwall. Businesses, corporations, grow our EDC. They are doing a phenomenal job there. Help them advance that. Bring in additional retail and corporations into Rockwall along the 30 corridor that could help cushion our tax burdens. And we don't want that coming down to our residents. That would probably be my big initiative.
Very good. Thank you, Councilmember Campbell. Mr. Shane, on your website, under the heading that reads Strength for Rockwall, focus on issues, there are 5 bullet points, one of which reads, I've already asked that question, sorry. I can answer it. All right. Yeah, I've already asked that question. Is there a question from the audience for Mr. Shane? Do you have one just for Shane? If not, I've got another one. Go ahead.
Shane, on your site, you mentioned accountability, transparency, and community. Considering you are running to replace Campbell, what do you offer that she already doesn't?
Excellent. Good question, thank you. What I offer that the current councilwoman doesn't provide is I do a bi-weekly recap on every planning and zoning vote that I do. I do a completely recap, and that's transparent. It's on my website, it's on Facebook, share it to my personal Facebook page, my candidate page at this point. But I was doing that before I wanted to run for office. Because as a citizen, you should know how your planning and zoning commissioners and your city council are voting and understand the why behind that. And the thing about it is you can't necessarily, when you're across from that dais, explain that vote. It's just you're voting it and you're done. But for transparency, I have gone back and done a recap of absolutely everything, of every vote that I've done and why I voted that way. And since you didn't let me have the remote,
you got time. Go ahead.
Since I have time, I can see Benny Klutz Park from my game room. It is not a park. It's 50 acres of raw land. It's with a detention pond. It's not a park. There's nothing I can't go out there right now and do anything with that park. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Okay. I've got 2 more questions. All right, we're just going to do one more question then. There's a lot of talk at state level, including from the governor and legislatures, about the need for more affordable housing and multifamily housing in Texas. In your time on city council planning and zoning, have you ever or do you support high density housing and multifamily apartments in this community? Councilmember Campbell.
Thank you. I do not. I think we have the multifamily that we need. We have, affordable housing can be a little bit of a dirty word, especially in this community. And down south, we don't want, people will consider affordable housing as something that is going to be for those undesirables. Do we need to bring in people that are young and young professionals that can come in and help grow our city? Yes. Can we have housing that is affordable to them? Yes. Does it have to be multifamily? No. Have I voted for multifamily in the past? There was one development directly across the street, that little monstrosity that we see going up. 3 stories here, 6 stories going down the hill. That was something that was almost 2 decades ago approved. And so we needed, there was nothing that can be done unless, which is something I do not do, is risk the city and the taxpayers on any lawsuits. So I did not vote, I did vote for that one. It was something that was approved. Other than that, no sir, I have not voted for any other multifamily and will not. I think we're done with multifamily.
Thank you, Councilman Councilmember Campbell. Mr. Shane.
Short answer is we have enough high density, right? Multifamily, we don't need any more. We've got it, and if you, quite frankly, if you want to be in that, go across the bridges. It's right there. It's great. They're luxury apartments. Have at it. Then, in reality, when you talk about residential neighborhoods and high density, we don't need any more of that either. We need to be moving the needle because the pendulum for so long has been pushed towards high density residential developments in this town. We need to put the pendulum back. You know, it was said that it's not voting for high density, well she has in the past on developments, particularly planning 2024-001 and 003, particularly that my opponent voted yes for in terms of residential high-density neighborhoods, and that was 3.3 homes per acre or 3 homes per acre in those 2 developments respectively. We need to go back to the old Rockwall, where it's 1.75, 1.5 homes, 1.25 homes, and even acre lots, and we need to codify the comp plan that will make that happen. Close the loopholes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shea. Councilmember, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. When we talked about high density, we mentioned multifamily earlier, which is your specific question. When we refer to high density in neighborhoods, like what was mentioned earlier, 50, 60, 70-foot lots and up is what is on our current comp plan. Some of the developments that have come in have mixed. If all of the houses in those developments were 60, 70-foot lot homes, then that would be a high density development. Most of those were not approved that way. We embedded a few 70s, but not most of the homes that were in those developments were a lot larger than that. They were not considered high density development. They were considered moderate developments.
Thank you, Councilmember. Mr. Shane, you have a right to rebut.
You know, I would think 3 homes per acre is pretty high, but we can go from that. In my own neighborhood, in my Fontana Ranch Phase 3, we have 1.96 homes per acre. We have 82-foot lots. I can scream and yell and do an air horn, and my neighbor can't hear me. If you know, you know about the air horn. We need to absolutely eliminate 50, 60, 70-foot lots. It really needs to start at 80 foot and go up from there. And quite honestly, I think voting for me, you're going to vote for lower density. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shane. Okay, it's now time for closing comments. Closing arguments. Yeah. It's late. Councilmember Campbell, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. I'm a school teacher by trade, and I speak all day long to kids, all day long in the high school. And this is not like speaking to my kids. So I am very nervous. I got a little tongue-tied periodically. I'm looking at my facts, and it's from perspective. Things like high density. One of our last developments that were voted on is a 1.67 per lot. That is smaller than Fontana Ranch. So just wanted to make sure that whenever we speak facts. We look at all of the decisions that we make. I appreciate you being out here. I appreciate the opportunity to serve. It has been an honor. I will continue to serve. I continue to listen to all of you. You may not always get 100% of what you want, but you will always be listened to, and there can always be compromise. Okay, we just did that this last council meeting with a boat ramp case that came in front of us. It was not exactly what was initially proposed. It was not exactly what the residents in the area wanted. We listened to them. We came up with a compromise that made them happy. They were happy with what the final results were. So listening is a big deal. Just because something is written in the comp plan doesn't mean that it has to be that way. We can improve that. Public safety, we've talked a lot about development, but I want to make sure that we emphasize that we need to make sure that we ensure that we have a safe community to live in. Without public safety, we do not have a strong community. That has to be our number one, okay? Other than that, again, thank you for coming out here. Thank you again for all the prayers, all the texts, all the phone calls. This was wonderful. I love having these conversations. I love continuing them after this, all of our meet and greets and all of our fun times together. Let's continue to have that conversation. Thank you again for coming. And thank you for your vote. I'd be honored to have it.
Thank you, Councilmember Campbell. Mr. Shane, your closing remarks.
Thank you, sir, and everyone. I've always believed in servant leadership, leading by example, being tough but fair. At the end of the day, it's the actions that define us. For more than a decade, I've been working to make the place that we all call home better. Not for recognition, not for a title, but for you. Long before I ever decided to run for office, I was already fighting for the community. Not just through organizations or committees, but as a husband, a father, a man of faith, just a regular guy who cares deeply about where the place city lives and what we pass on to the next generation. I believe a strong community helps shape our children alongside strong families. That's how we raise good people. Through hard work, accountability, and pride where we live. I'm proud to say I still believe in those values. Like many of you, I want my children to grow up loving Rockwall, choosing to stay here, make their lives here, just like many families have done since 1854. But keeping Rockwall special doesn't happen by accident. It takes leadership that understands growth, infrastructure, and smart decision making. My background in construction, property management, procurement gives me the experience to make informed, responsible decisions, whether we're talking roads, development, or how we spend your tax dollars. No matter how you got here, whether you've been here for generations or you're new, your voice deserves to be heard. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm listening and I'm taking notes. I'm working to respond to your concerns. Tonight, I humbly ask for your support and your vote. Let's work together to protect what makes this place special. Please help me keep Rockwall, Rockwall. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shane. Please give a warm applause to our candidates for Rockwall City Council. Mayor Kim.
First of all, I want to say thank you. Let's take that over. I want to say thank you to Bunker Bob. I thought he did a fantastic job. We're going to play back to McClendon Chisholm. I wasn't slamming Brian McNeil. I want to really quickly, thank our timers. And I'd like Patty and Francis to stand up and show you their shirts. Patty, get your microphone and tell everybody what your shirt says. Please turn around and show them.
Well, it says, I never dreamt I'd grow up to be a super sexy timekeeper, but here we are, killing it.
Thank you both for volunteering. Thank you guys very much. Well, look, I just want to really quickly say, and by name, thank you to John, thank you to David, thank you to Councilwoman Campbell, thank you to Dr. Castile. It is not easy to sit up here.
No, it's not.
And so they all deserve a really big round of applause for being brave enough to put their name on the ballot. people and great servants in our community. As I wish you all four the best of luck. I also want to take a second to thank our Youth Advisory Council. What about our Youth Advisory Council? I mean, the questions came from you. Some of them came from online. They did a great job. These students are the leaders of tomorrow. I'm so happy they agreed to volunteer and get involved. Did y'all have fun? It was just such a blast. So thank you guys for your service to our community. So glad you're here. And thank you to the audience. You guys were fantastic. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for loving this community enough to come out and be involved. Thank you all. And I hope you'll do one thing as you leave here. I hope you'll pray for all these candidates. And I hope you'll thank them. They'll be here. They'll be here to answer your questions. But give them, whether it's your candidate or not, thank them for running. Give them your prayers. Give their family your prayers. And don't forget to pray for our great city. Thank you all. Have a good evening. And God bless Rockwall.
All right, that concludes our broadcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to Blue Ribbon News, Rockwall Live, for the candidate forum. Take the time to find out more information about them. Have a great vote. Thanks.